Okay, all right. We're nearing the end of Connect, so hopefully you guys still have a lot of energy for me. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. I really thought a lot about how to give this talk because there's so many different audiences that show up to this. Some of you are already building on Horizon and making mobile games. Some of you are on the fence on whether you should. Some of you have no idea what Horizon is. Some of you are in the wrong room maybe right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cover why we have Horizon. Why are we doing this? Why we are building on mobile, what the future looks like, and why now is the time to participate and how you can do that. So I'm already going off script. I'm getting the look from the back. I'm not even on the first slide yet. All right. Oh, yeah, look at that. There's the first slide. Sure. That sounds great. That's me. Okay, so I've been in the games industry for a long time, 20 years. I'm a hands-on learner. So I've built games on Horizon as well. And it's really helped me kind of understand the tools, understand the pain points that some of you are going through, and all the things that we should fix, update, and where things should go. I made a 2D tapping game to start with. Then I promised I would make a 3D game that's all AI generated, so I made kind of like a snake.io game called snack.io, where you're collecting food and dropping it off and things like that. Like I said, I've been in the games industry for a long time, and I'm very excited about what Meta is doing here with Horizon. I've worked on a lot of different platforms over the years, and there's something truly special about what this is and why I took this job a long 8 months ago when I first started here. The biggest thing for me is that Meta is obviously known for social networks, for bringing people together, for connecting people, for recommending people with content. And so when we think about Horizon, we want to continue that. We want to continue connecting people. We want to create the next generation of social platform. And so I often think about how as social platforms evolve from text to pictures to videos, what's the next thing? And I think Horizon can be that next thing, and that's why Meta is so invested in pushing this platform forward. The awesome thing about it as well is that it expands the demographics. When you think about Facebook or Instagram, there's very specific people that it targets. And we really want Horizon to continue to expand that to a whole new set of demographics, but include those that are already on Meta platforms today. So we made a big announcement earlier this year to have Horizon also be available on mobile. And this might have felt like left field for some of you that had been on Horizon working on VR for quite some time, but it was a pretty natural evolution for the team. When you think about where we want to go in the future, we want to connect everyone, and not everyone has a Quest device. And so we really wanted to allow people to play with their friends, whatever device that they're on. And so the natural next step was mobile, because there's lots of people that have mobile phones in their pockets, as most of you probably do in this room. And so we launched Horizon on mobile. This was something that happened right when I first got here, and I'm in awe of how much has happened in just those short 7 months. If you think about this, back in February 20th, there were no mobile games on Horizon, and now there are thousands of them, and I've played a lot of them, and they're very exciting. And I've also, like I mentioned, worked on a lot of platforms, and I'm used to SDKs that go out once a year, and they take a long time, and then small incremental iterations. What I've seen in my short time here has been truly amazing. I stole these pictures from the website, but there's just been a lot of updates on Horizon Mobile since it's come out. Lots of features have shipped. Some of them are mentioned here. I stole this slide from somebody in this room that's probably made it at some point. And so it's very exciting for me. Like, I love new platforms. I'm a technologist at heart, and I just happen to be a big gamer. And so all of these things and the speed at which it's happening is very exciting for me. So I'm going to go into why now, why Meta, why do we care, why should you care? And then at the end, I'll hopefully have some time for some Q&A, maybe some burning questions you've been holding all week for some reason that you haven't decided to ask at this point, but you can ask me and I will divert it to someone else. Okay, so why now? Like I mentioned, we really want to build the next great social network. This is what this company is about. We have a history of doing a pretty good job of building social networks from the ground up and expanding them to ridiculous amounts of people. And we want to do that, but at the same time, we want to push what's possible on those social networks. Not just pictures, not just videos, but something truly immersive, something truly connected that kind of bridges the gap that we have today with our traditional social media. So Meta is pretty well suited to do this. I think there's maybe not that many companies that can pull this off or have the history of doing it. So we have the reason why we want to do it. I think we have the expertise to do it. Like I mentioned, we're pretty good at connecting people and content, and this is incredibly important. I want to give a little, maybe a history for those of you that have not been in the gaming industry forever or younger. I remember renting games on Friday nights and then playing that game the entire weekend, no matter if it was good or bad. Because I rented it and I'm gonna play the crap out of it, and if it's not good, too bad, right? And that was pretty much the pace at which I played games. It was like one a week and maybe some release every once in a while. Now, the entertainment space is insane. You can play hundreds of free AAA games. You have to compete against Netflix and TikTok and Instagram Reels and lots of established games. And so the attention for eyeballs has never been, I don't know, so crazy, I guess, in the entire entertainment space. I think what Meta has is the opportunity to connect your players, their eyeballs, to your games. And that's the whole point of social networks. That's the whole point of what we're trying to do with Horizon. And so, like I said, I think we're good at that. I think there's a need for it more than there's ever been in the history of the entertainment space. And I think the problem of content, which again, as a consumer, it's the most amazing thing ever, just having infinite amounts of content on so many platforms. But as developers, it can be daunting, right? I used to have to worry about what game is shipping that same week I'm shipping. Now I have to worry about every game that's shipped for the last decade, which is a bigger problem. But I think what we want to do is make it so that we connect players with the exact game that they're looking for. So I'm excited about that. And then, like I mentioned, we have a lot of users across our platforms. And so not only are we learning what they like, what they dislike, but we understand their connections. And when they start playing something, we can recommend them other games, or we can tell them about updates for your games, and all of those things. So that's pretty exciting. And so for me, it's, as a developer, I've always wanted to be kind of early in on a platform. And that's where we are still with Horizon. It is still early, but it is the time for all of you to become experts and kind of get in before everyone else does as this takes off. So I wanted to go a little bit on what I've seen the last 6-7 months. We made a video of just some of my favorite games that I've played. And again, you've seen most of these games. Some of you have probably made some of these games. But like, what excites me is that, like I said, 7 months ago, you couldn't even build these games. And now I've played them, and a lot of people have played them. So I'm going to play this video, and we can watch it together. This is just, yeah, good job. I think a lot of you have made some of these games, so thank you. Those are just a few of my favorites. I actually was just playing while I was waiting for to come up here a new game, so I'm excited to share some of those. Maybe we'll share a QR code at the end. But already amazing results, right? Like in such a short time frame, lots of new games. It's cool to see. There's mobile-only games. There's folks building VR and mobile games at the same time. There's folks that then already had a VR game and now they ported it over to mobile. And just seeing those communities come together and start to grow is super exciting. Okay, so I wanted to just talk and like, now that I'm looking or thinking about what my slides are, I think now you've heard these if you were part of the academies or you were part of the summits or some of the other talks. Some of this might feel repetitive, but like I said, there's a lot of new people and different types of people, so I'll try to stay a little bit higher level to make it as inclusive as possible. So I want to talk about a few areas that I've seen in games, whether generally or on Horizon, that make a difference, like things that really push these games to stand out, and I'll give some examples. And again, there'll be examples on the screen. These are just some of my favorites. They aren't the only examples for these types of things. We've talked a lot about onboarding, but one thing to note about Horizon is the demographics are so varied that the chances that people come in and understand your game can be quite low. Where, I think about some other platforms that my kids play on where like they know those types of games. You might get all kinds of different people coming into your world, and if they haven't played that type of game, they might feel lost. So make sure they understand what's the purpose, why are they here, how can they succeed, what's their goal, I think is a key piece. I think these games do a good job of that. Like you first come in and it's like, oh, I need to do this exact thing and I'm gonna go do it, and if you do it, you get rewarded. And so that's super important. And I think it becomes more important as, like I said, more people have more access to more games and their patience has gone down because they're so used to choice and having so many opportunities that they have, a minute to evaluate whether they like something, and if they're confused or lost, they go do something else. Another thing is obviously progression. Obviously, if they've already left because they didn't understand your game, then progression is not super important. But to keep people excited, to keep them coming back, they have to feel like there's a fair reward for the amount of time they're putting into your game. There's lots of different ways to do this. There's rewards, there's levels, there's high scores, there's ways to compete and get people excited. But also, it gives you an opportunity to tell your players when there's an update, when there's another piece of your game that they can progress further. So it gives you some of those. So I love both of these examples. I know exactly what I need to do to progress and continue to the next piece, and I think that's a pretty important piece. One of my favorite things that I talk about a lot is Sandbox and social. I think we live in a world where I come from a world, I guess, where I would read like Nintendo Power or like IGN to find out what games I should play that month. And most people don't do that anymore because I don't think they exist. But like my kids, they watch Twitch streamers or they see videos on Instagram or TikTok. And the things that resonate with them are silly, emergent, not scripted things. And I think that's kind of a key component when I think about some of the big games that I've played or I see them playing, Among Us or Fall Guys or Human Fall Flat. They just create these like very crazy moments that are unscripted, and it makes for very viral content that is very memeable, is very YouTubeable, I guess, if that's a verb. So I think that's a big thing, is trying to make moments that are non-scripted to really help your game get these viral loops outside of your game. And then it gives you an opportunity to amplify them or to double down on the features that are pushing those things forward. So a good way to think about this is like having open-ended goals for your games, social mechanics that really leverage the platform. I think my favorite examples maybe of the recently is, I think about when the iPhone first came out and Angry Birds was released. It was like the perfect mechanic for that platform. It felt great to launch that bird. Or Spin the Bottle, I think, is a great example in VR where everyone has VoIP, everyone can emote. It's a social experience, and it's very unique and special for the medium. And that's the fourth thing is unique and differentiated. And to me, maybe the right words are unexpected, right? I think something you might not have thought you would see in Horizon. It's always easy for me to say, like, just go build a unique game no one's ever built before. But that takes a little, it's a little bit harder. But what I've seen succeed, and if you think about the last 4 or 5 years of games that have really popped, a lot of them are mashing multiple games together, or they're evolving a genre, right? When I think about how much I loved PUBG and then what Fortnite did with it, or I think about, Gorilla Tag is a great game, Lethal Company was a great game. Let's put them together and we have Animal Company, and that did extremely well, or is doing very well in VR. So there's ways to innovate on genres that are already established, mashing them together. Sure, if you come up with a genius, brand new idea, like you should try that as well, but it might be easier to put a few things together. Another thing that I think is pretty unique with Horizon is because we can make games faster than maybe a AAA game that takes 3-4 years, you can do things that are very much meme-worthy or apropos for the current time or what's happening, like whatever new meme is out. You see a lot of those, I think, on different platforms, and I think that's something that we can all leverage as well. Like I mentioned, one of the things that we do, or part of my role really, is to help all of you be successful on our platforms. And so we have a lot of different programs, like the Meta Horizon Creator Program, or Start, or Boost, or any of those things. And one of them that I really love is the competitions that we do. And I like them for a couple of reasons. Is we're kind of giving you hints at areas we think are going to pop, or that players are telling us they really like. And so we kind of give you a black box to operate within, and then we also pay you for making great games within that. So Samantha, who stole most of my slides in the keynote earlier, talked about a new competition that is launching today. I believe the website is up. I will have, yes, very exciting. There'll be a QR code in a minute, but before that, I wanted to show a video because we've had some truly incredible competition winners so far. Okay, this is the QR code that isn't showing up. There we go. Someone scan it and tell me if it's actually working, because I have no idea if it is. Anybody? Yeah? Okay, great. So my recommendation for all of you, if you are already building on Horizon, just enter the competition, right? Because there's money to be won. If you already have a game in development, maybe like copy and paste it into a new project, and we might not know that it started at that date. Sorry for those that are running the competition. Maybe don't do that. No, I think it's probably fine. But really, like, these competitions are here because we want to reward you as we grow this ecosystem. We understand that we need to pour funds into this as we level it up. And the competitions, like I said, give you these constraints to help you focus on specific areas that we've identified that are exciting or gaps or feedback from users. So please participate in them. This one's pretty exciting. You can get all of the info on the QR code. But like I said, we want all of you to succeed. So there's a lot of like special categories. So it basically, like, if you can submit almost anything and there's a chance you might win something, because we really want people to participate. Okay, so I'll talk about kind of what's coming next and like what I'm excited about, and then I'll shut up and do some Q&A so you guys can ask your questions. So a couple of things, like we've announced so many things at Connect. We've talked about a new set of tools, and actually if you stay in this room after I'm done talking, there'll be a deep dive on Horizon Studio, which you should not miss. But we're going to continue to improve this platform. Like I mentioned, Meta's invested. This is not a side project. This is not just something we're thinking about. This is the next generation social platform for Meta. And so we're going to continue to improve things. Sometimes there's tools that aren't where you want them to be. Just know that the team knows this. We're going to improve performance. We're going to give you more features, more capabilities. And we are listening. So please do submit your feedback. Do fill out the surveys and go and fill out bug reports. There's still lots of features coming. This is now completely outdated based on all of the things that have been announced here, because I made this slide a couple weeks ago, and there's lots of things that have happened since then. Okay, so lots of calls to action. If you're not part of the creation program, you should definitely join it. You should participate in the competitions, because you might as well double dip in the money opportunities. Continue to experiment. I think one of the fun things that I liked when I first started making games on Horizon is you can press that publish button pretty quickly. And so try new mechanics, try new games, and see if they're fun. And if they're not, go try something else and keep experimenting and pushing the boundaries. My recommendation are really about instant fun mechanics. I mentioned Angry Birds earlier. That could have been an anything game. It could have been a military game. It could have been anything. But that mechanic felt great. And then they wrapped it around birds breaking things, which is cool. But like, I think it's important to find a mechanic that's fun within the constraints of what we had to offer. Again, Sandbox, meme-worthy, viral games are really important, especially in a time when there's so much choice for players. And so think about, hey, will this create viral moments? Will people want to video this? Will people want to talk about it? Will people go home or go to school and tell their friends, or at work, you need to come play this, right? Will they get benefits for playing together? Those types of things. So think ahead on all of those. Experiment, learn, share, and publish. We're going to continue to support you as best as we can. I'm very excited, like I mentioned, and to me, like, I really want to see things that were not possible before. Like, that is what I get excited about as a technologist and gamer. It's always, what are platforms able to do to push the medium forward? And I think you've seen lots of announcements at Meta, like, we're going to continue to push the boundaries. We're going to bring you more AI tools to make it easier to lower that floor so more people can participate in this. We're going to give you better tools. We're going to raise that ceiling to make it more beautiful, more concurrency, all of those things at the same time. So please participate, make some great games, and I can't wait to play them. All right. That's exactly how much time I was supposed to do it, and that was really good. Okay, there's 2 mics. Please, if there's any questions you have about really anything, I will give it my best. And if not, I will point at someone in the crowd and see what they think.
So, hi, I'm Marcelo. I'm a game developer, UGC creator. And I just wish to know, out of curiosity, you guys incentivize us to give feedback, but do you guys have like a roadmap, like an open roadmap for us to see, like, for example, prototype mode? He just asked if we had like a roadmap, like open up like in this season, this feature, in the next season, another one, so we can like prepare ahead our games for that when that feature released. We get already an idea to keep running with it. You have explained for it?
Yeah, great question. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, so I'll just say whatever I want. Yes, so there's two things. I think one, we are creating kind of a user voice type portal where you can not only ask for features, but you can upvote the features that you love. And then the product teams will then tag those and tell you when they are coming so that you guys have as much transparency as possible within the process. So that is happening as we speak. It should be out very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, yeah. I just want, do you have any insight on the demographic of mobile players for Horizon? Because on one end, I think like it's kids, but if you're pushing this into Facebook or Instagram, I think it's less kids. So how do you see it?
Yeah, it's pretty varied, which I think makes it exciting and maybe daunting at the exact same time. You're right? We have lots of different social networks that target lots of different types of folks, and as we bring them from those networks over, you're getting a lot of types of users. And then obviously, VR, like we've talked about many, many times, we have young users, we have older users, we have core gamers, casual gamers. And so I think the best way to think about it is, where we're going to spend a lot of our time is making sure that we funnel the right users to your games based on the criteria that you've set based on their likes and dislikes. But feel free to build games for varied audiences or niche audiences. It's very likely that we have them on the platform.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Will.
Hello.
I'm working on Fashionista. I'm getting increasingly excited about this platform and investing more heavily into this platform. But I have a simple question, which is just in your words or in your own opinion, what is the unique value prop here for a player against specifically Roblox, since that's really the big competitor?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think right now, there's so much choice for players. Like, it's awesome to be a player, right? And I think the biggest thing that they will have on our platform will be those connections that I talked about. And I think it's the integration with other networks, right? So like maybe they're on Instagram and they see that there's an event happening and they have those reminders, or they like a post on Facebook or Instagram that then associates them with a recommendation for a game. And so I think that's one big piece. As we add further capabilities, some of the things that we talked about with studios, some of the Gen AI things that we talked about, I think we're going to get different types of games that aren't available on other platforms that have different types of depth or different types of games. So they'll have varied opportunities for them to play. But at this point, like as we're a growing platform, there's a lot of similarities with a lot of the games that we have in a lot of the networks. But that is what we're focused on right now, is just expanding that so that it is a unique place for them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Someone needs to go to this mic because I'm heading this way. Oh, dang it! I was hoping for a back and forth.
If nobody gonna go for it. Mic, I'm going for it. So, kind of a tough question. The new engine just got announced. For example, I got a team and I need to prepare for this engine. I know there is a beta coming up. I don't know when. But I actually wanted to know if there is any scope, anything that we can get prepared for this new engine. Is it still TypeScript? Are we going to stick with the Gen AI TypeScript stuff? Or maybe migrating to like blueprints, kind of like a real engine blueprint scheme for coding to simplify it, like anything like this, or nothing at all for us right now?
Yeah, no, I'll answer all of those. You can sign up for the beta today. Maybe we can share. Talk to this young lady up here. She'll tell you where the thing is afterwards. Second, it is TypeScript. The APIs are a little bit different, so there'll be some changes you have to make, but it is still TypeScript. And then your third question was, remind me? Blueprints. Oh, yeah. I think for right now, it's very similar to the desktop editor, but Yeah, so I think it'll continue to evolve as we add more features, but right now think of it as kind of what it is right now.
And if you stay till 4:15,
Oh yeah.
in this room, Mike will be giving a talk on.
Yeah, I'll repeat that for those watching this in the future. I don't know who you are, but hey, welcome. Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, the next talk, you're gonna have to leave the room and then come back in so they can scan and give them credit. But it's all about those tools. So hopefully you'll know more. And I'm sure they'll give you a link to how to sign up for the beta. Other burning questions? Okay. All right, well, I appreciate it. And please,
Got one more question.
That
This
was
is
close.
probably like 5 years from now questions. All right, VR, phones, is there like any like talks about possible like consoles or like my son plays Roblox on his PlayStation 5. You know, is there any talks of that? Because like, you know, even TVs you have can hold games, so.
Yeah, great question. I think right now our roadmap is let's get these new tools super stable, super great for mobile and VR. Like we talked about, we're gonna have native support. And so you can imagine us moving to other platforms as we see the need or fit. But right now we're very focused on getting it right for VR and mobile because that's kind of like our home platforms, and then we'll expand from there.
I think.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I got a fun one to wrap it up with. For you personally, what are some of the genres and then lookalike games you're most excited to see built on this platform? And then I think in particular, the new engine with the new capabilities.
Yeah, I absolutely love jump in and jump out games, which is really interesting because like I've played, I don't know, let's call it 27,000 games in my life. Maybe, I don't know if that's accurate, but it could be. And there's like really like not many that are jump in, jump out, where like anyone can jump in, and like that's why I built the game I did, because like Snake.io, you can just join in. Anyone can join in and you just start playing, and people have been there for hours, you've been there for 2 minutes, and you kind of play together. So I love those types of games. Like I'm very impatient. I don't like to wait for lobbies to fill. I don't like to die and then have to wait for the next match. I just want to jump in. So I love social games where it doesn't matter if you've been there for 2 hours or 2 minutes, you're having fun. And then the second one I think is, and maybe tied to it, it's instantly obvious what you're trying to do. Right? And like you jump in, but it's like, oh, everyone's chasing that red ball. I guess it's a chase the red ball game, right? And like versus like a very complex thing. I have a lot of kids. I watch them play, and they play the most basic games that have very specific, like very tiny mechanics. And I think that's key now to grab their attention and then introduce depth at a later stage. Okay, this might be truly it. Okay, thank you everyone, appreciate it.